We, the leadership of Nairobi Cosmopolitan Conference, which is referred to as NCC, would like to issue this statement to the public after the leaders of the Central Kenya Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church dragged our organization to the ongoing leadership crisis at the Nairobi Central Church during their press conference on Monday, 12th. We want to categorically say that mentioning of NCC in the said press briefing was unfair and unwarranted. These statements, therefore, is to set the record straight and also inform the public on the mission and objectives of the NCC. NCC was incorporated as a company limited by a guarantee by the Register of Companies on the 15th of March this year on exactly the same principles as the Seventh-day Adventist Church East African Union, which is the registered entity of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Kenya. All current and potential members of NCC are Seventh-day Adventists who believe in the mission of the church as by the biblical teachings and subscribe to the church doctrines as well as other established policies of the church. Over the years, the church members have witnessed with dismay how the Seventh-day Adventist leadership in Kenya has lost focus of the church mission and veered off the course to concentrate on earthly pursuits of personal gain. This corruption and the written of injustice in our church has manifested itself in unfair access to the scholarship opportunities, where leaders dish out these opportunities to themselves, family members, and their cronies, so as to gain academic degrees to qualify for higher church positions. The Seventh-day Adventist Church in Kenya is also experiencing massive misappropriation of church funds for selfish purposes away from the original mission of the church, which is evangelism. The church's leaders have effectively divided church members along ethnic lines to achieve and retain church administrative power to facilitate their continued plunder of church resources. Some of the church's top leaders are also engaged in outright theft of our church resources, which members contribute in form of tithes and offerings. We have credible information that some of them are now even involved in a chain of real estate ventures, using the church's resources, effectively contravening Article 10 of the Kenya Constitution. These are the issues that NCC is concerned about and now seeking to bring the church to normalcy in order to concentrate on winning souls for Jesus Christ. Allow me now to give a few details about some of these issues. Number one is on integrity. A keen observation on the management of any of our church institutions will reveal that the Seventh-day schools, colleges, universities, health facilities, among other institutions, are run down and have become employment opportunities for close family members and the relatives of church leaders, their qualification notwithstanding. These institutions are also become cash cows for self-enrichment of the said leaders. Accountability in the management of Seventh-day Adventist Church properties, finances, and human resources is wanting. Church funds move only one way, up, while the mission of the church servers is a common place to see worship conducted in very dilapidated church structures, which never receive back what goes up to those in high offices. This is unfair and we believe God never intended that the Seventh-day faithfuls will worship in such poor state of infrastructure. All attempts by church members since the 90s to have the leadership address this entrenched impunity has fallen on deaf ears. We are dealing with an entrenched web of high-level corruption, manipulation of church elections at all levels, at conference level, union, division, even at the global level. Members have witnessed unbelievable impunity coupled with the sheer incompetence of church leadership. This is what NCC is fighting. On negative ethnicity, we want to say that it's unfortunate that the Seventh-day Adventist Church is experiencing unacceptable ethnic profiling of members at various units and levels of the church administration, victimization and intimidation of members and employees on the basis of tribe. It's a fact that the Gusii community, who are over 60% of the Adventist population in Kenya, has been systematically targeted and excluded from various church management structures. Yet, it is this community that contributes over 70% of the resources, which for a long time have remained in the control and management of a few families in a community that is less than 20% of the church, less than 10% of the church. These families are in prime leadership positions at all levels, beginning from the local conference, the union, the division, even up to the general conference headquarters of this church in America. This is unacceptable, and NCC is aiming to bring this injustice to an end. There is an interesting twist about the church voting system. The current crisis witnessed in Nairobi Central is a culmination of decades of agitation for a separate administrative conference for Nairobi, which include Kajiado. I just want to give a short example. In the last Central Kenya Conference Constitution session of 2015, held in Karura, the president of CKC, in his quest to entice the delegates to re-elect him, presented a request to divide CKC into 3 conferences, which was gladly voted for. The conferences were to be created by the year 2020. Instead, the CKC and the East African Union Conference, leaders in their usual manipulation, validated that decision of the delegates. It's important to note that the delegates is the highest authority of the conference. And they went ahead to create one conference and a field with doctored boundaries, organized in such a manner that the city has been deliberately fragmented, with the richer churches being aligned to the Mount Kenya region. Further, these leaders have created over 13 administrative stations in the friendly Mount Kenya and Ukambani regions with a total membership of just about 37,000 members, while they have given Nairobi and Kajiado with over 82,000 members only 3 stations. These stations are not recognized in the church structure, but are used here as the basis for sourcing for voting and nominating committee delegates. This is a case of gerrymandering for purposes of retaining power, and we therefore ask all Seventh-day Adventists in Kenya and beyond to rise up and speak against these evil schemes. And that is what NCC is speaking against. There is a case of the 15 members of Nairobi Central SDA Church who were reportedly removed from the church register. And this is a case of which support of gerrymandering which was done without following any procedure of the church as provided for in the church manual and the Bible. We will share with you the relevant section of the church manual that displays steps that are supposed to be taken while disciplining church members. The purpose of removing a member from a church register is supposed to be redemptive rather than condemnatory. The leaders who are shy to come out that they were angry with some of the members they are purporting to have removed from the church register because they have been highlighting and even stopping fraudulent activities within the church leadership. I want to give you a good example, quoting just only one, where there was a sale of a prime church property at Declaration worth more than 200 million shillings, which was forestalled by these members, the one who are being developed now, and the sale eventually was cancelled. We have a document here which can assist you to understand this. In this matter, there was blatant forgery and a mispresentation of material facts that caused the DCI to start investigating. The report is still pending in his office, and we believe that this matter should be fast-tracked so that by the relevant arms of government to bring the culprits to book. Let it be